In today's video, we're going to be taking a look here at these major storms here for the eastern and Gulf states of the United States here. We're going to have these massive storms back to back moving up the coast, bringing nor'easter conditions. It's going to be very windy, very rainy, and honestly a little bit early spring like or late fall like as far as the weather is concerned. We're in a colder pattern. We do anticipate that to keep on going. Now, before I get into things, I did want to mention that today's thumbnail, we did use our trilogy maps to create these. You can see on screen right now just how quickly I was able to make this thumbnail today. It literally took me probably about 60 seconds to make a very high definition and very informative thumbnail that really gets the point across. You're able to present very beautiful colors, very beautiful illustrations over an extremely high resolution map. So if you want to check those out, that's at trilogymaps.com. We are still doing our grand opening sale, and that's going to be going till May 1st. So be sure to check out those maps and buy some of them before they move up in price. Let's just get into the video though, and first things first, we're taking a look here at our precipitation type. We're really just going to be rolling through and seeing what these upcoming storms are going to be doing. We can see storm number 1 right there, and that's going to be moving in this direction. So we expect a lot of the activity through the next 10 days or so to be within this area here. And that's going to be for Thursday, the 27th here today. We see this really moves up by the time we're reaching tomorrow on Friday, May 28th. This low is pretty broad, and it's somewhere in here. The lowest pressure is right there, but it's pretty broad, like I said. We're going to be seeing really heavy rain and some strong winds for these areas there through the day on Friday, tomorrow. And for Saturday there, we see that this has kind of moved up and become, again, a little bit more of a broad low pressure center, as there's 2 different areas here indicating pretty far low pressure there. And we can see that there is a second low setting up. And this one looks to be the more major one. This one is going to move right along the coast, kind of like this. It's not going to be fully offshore, it doesn't appear, but it is going to move up. As you can see, we have this low right here as well. And this is just kind of helping this low here rise up, and we're seeing something like this. And as you can see, this is going to lead towards really just a blob of storminess through the upper Midwest, Ohio Valley, and the Great Lakes there. So definitely a very, very intense and widespread storm event there. We do see some snowfall there for portions of southern Canada into the upper Midwest, Wisconsin, Minnesota, the upper peninsula of Michigan here, seeing some of this wintry precipitation with this one, as there is some cold air pouring down with this Arctic blast or Arctic invasion, as you saw in the thumbnail with the storm moving up. This is a perfect frame to kind of illustrate that we basically, that thumbnail is just, picture perfect as to what the weather is expected to be like this weekend. We do see this major nor'easter 984 here, moving up into the northeast for the day, Sunday into Monday. That's going to be the 30th into the 1st of May. Again, that's when our sale ends over at Trilogy Maps. That's going to be in the pinned comment and the description down below to check those out. Let's just keep going here, and as you can see, we get kind of a secondary low moving in from the upper Midwest here, and this is going to be for the day on Tuesday the 2nd. This will be moving down into the northeast and Ohio Valley, and we can see that this one brings some very cold air with it, even some snowfall perhaps here for portions of the Appalachian Mountains, and then that heavy rainfall for other surrounding areas. By the time we're reaching Wednesday here on May 3rd, you can see we have this 993, almost at 33 there. That would be apocalyptic. We can see that there is a very strong low here near Maine, and that is bringing that precipitation up and down the northeast areas here of the United States. Now, on Friday the 5th here, we can see that there is a weaker low here now taking place over the northeast. So are you catching the trend here? I mean, there's basically going to be back-to-back storms here for the northeast. And we're still, by the end of the model run, kind of in a pattern that looks something like this, which is going to be basically very indicative of featuring storms moving through these areas again. And that's as we're approaching May 6th to May 7th. So we're reaching pretty far into the pattern. We're still seeing this. So this seems to be the trend for sure. Now, the total precipitation tells the full story. Basically, the whole western half of the United States is going to see below average activity. And almost all of this activity is going to be riding through these areas here, or this area here, and maybe a little bit further offshore. But this is the storm track through the next at least 10 days. As you can see, we do get a bit of a low developing here, but this one even kind of makes its way into that northeast area as well. So we end up getting very far above average precipitation for basically all of these areas here, the Gulf states, the East Coast up and down from Florida to Maine, and then we can see the upper Midwest, Great Lakes, and Ohio Valley getting in on some of this as well, with those reds indicating 2 to 6 inches of precipitation over the next 10 days, which is highly above average for pretty much everywhere that is in those reds. So definitely a very stormy pattern, it appears, coming up very soon. Now, as we reach this total snowfall portion of the video, we can see the Sierra Nevadas are seeing quite a bit. We can see up and down the Rockies as well, seeing quite a bit also. And then the upper Midwest here, we can see anywhere in the grays experiencing a dusting. If anything, the blue's going to be 2 to 6 inches of snowfall. Purple's being 6 to 10. Pink's 10 to 20 there, and then your pastel blue is going to be 20 inches plus. So maybe some of this happening in Wisconsin and the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. They are featuring the most snowfall we see anywhere on this map. So certainly very, very interesting. Also, those very tall mountains there in West Virginia. I just drove through those areas actually a couple of days ago coming back from my trip, and they are very tall mountains, let me tell you. Definitely the highway tends to go right over them in West Virginia. I've never experienced that in a different state. Usually the highway either cuts through the mountains where they cut through them, or it goes around them. But in West Virginia, 64 or whatever highway it is, it goes right over the mountains. It's incredible. You must experience it at least once in your life. Now, as we reach the precipitation anomaly, or temperature anomalies better yet, we can see that cold air is going to be around for the east, and we see the warm in the west here. So ridge, something like this, big trough, and I mean, let me play this whole thing through. Let me just see. Let's see if this changes at any point, or if this stays basically accurate for the entire model run. What we do start to see, as you can see through this model run, is we begin to see more of a horseshoe pattern where we get this ridge in the middle, and then troughs on both coasts. And this is a pattern that does happen. Usually it means less severe cold on both troughs and not really that strong of a ridge in the middle. But this is certainly a possible pattern, but it's not very likely in most cases. And honestly, this appears to be more cold out here, maybe a negative PNA pattern than we're seeing in the east. So I bet we might start to see some of these models indicating more and more warmth here as you head into the eastern half of the nation. So I would not be surprised to see that occurring here on the models over the coming days. We're going to keep you guys up to date continuously, obviously, as we upload every single day. So be sure to subscribe, as we do, again, upload every single day. You can even hit the bell icon for daily notifications when we upload so you never miss one. Also, be sure to like the video and leave a comment down below. And like I said before, guys, be sure to check out the Trilogy maps if you want to create your own very high resolution, very professional looking weather maps. You can get that in the pinned comment and the description down below. I look forward to seeing you guys over there and seeing what you guys create with those beautiful maps. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.